We've all experienced the feeling of staying up with the boys and playing a game like COD Zombies. Sadly, this feeling will never be shared in VR format because it's never been truly replicated. Well, till now. Welcome to Frenzy Extinction. First things first, if we're going to talk about anything great, for example LeBron, we have to talk about fundamentals. The game's main fundamentals, like grabbing and moving, are very simple. Added that the jumping is removed from movement, it's even more simple. Because of how simple it is, I'm giving the fundamentals a 9 out of 10.
Next are the weapons. The weapons in the game are unique and special. You know what else has the word special in it? The special needs program that your teacher told your mom to enroll you into when you were 3 years old.
But the main problem with having so many unique weapons is that eventually you will start repeating some. For example, these two weapons on screen right here, they do the same exact thing, have the same power, which we'll talk about in a second, just have a slightly different design. Now, talking about designs, these weapons are really keen to detail. For example, at least the first 3 tiers have this very scrappy and grabbed off the floor look. Because you're in a post-apocalyptic world, you don't have a lot of materials, you're just starting out exploring your once lively town. But later on, when you get the hang of stuff and start collecting other stuff and more scraps, you could be able to build and create better weapons, or just find better weapons in general. Also, talking about the power earlier, every weapon has an ability that can use to fend off zombies, or hidden is what the game calls them. I would give the weapons a 8.5 out of 10 because some of the melee weapons don't work properly and are a bit funky, like you see on screen now. Okay, for story-wise, this game has plenty of it. They also just added a bunch more to the story recently. The story can be unraveled from completing the campaign and or finding notes in the level. This story seems very organized and clear and doesn't seem rushed or unfinished in any way. That is why I'm giving the story a solid 10 out of 10. Now, speaking about the campaign, let's talk about it. The campaign has a total of 9 levels, with each level having at least 3 different areas that can be unlocked after defeating the boss in that area. Also, each level has 2 to 4 different bosses per level. Now, what I want to say about these levels is that you will have to have some patience if playing alone. What I mean by this is that at times, to fight the boss, you will have to find 3 certain items. For example, you have to flip 3 switches, and they can be very frustrating to find. I've spent maybe 10 minutes per level just trying to find some special thing, and it's very frustrating, but it's a lot easier when you're playing with other people. We'll talk about multiplayer just in a second. So because of all of this, I'm giving the campaign a 9 out of 10. The game loop is pretty straightforward. You're dropped in a level, grab a basic weapon, you kill zombies, get the points that they drop, buy new weapons to get further in the level trying to finish the level. After defeating the bosses and quote-unquote finishing the level, you could also decide to leave and try going back to your hideout or going to the next level, or staying and seeing how many waves you get through. Because of this simple gameplay loop, it's easy an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. Okay, back to playing solo. Let's talk about multiplayer. For the multiplayer in this game, you could party up with 3 other friends, so 4 people in total, including you. And you could obviously play the campaign, but you also can play stuff like Shootout or even Mutant Olympics. If you're trying to join a game with just some randoms because you have no friends, it will take a lot of time to load. So just because of that, and that most people don't have a lot of friends that are willing to spend money on this game, I'll give multiplayer a 7 out of 10. After talking about everything that is good about this game, let's talk about everything that is negative about this game. Now, the first negative things about this game is that there are a handful of bugs. From weapons and important parts to continue level clipping into the floor, to the perks you add to the game not being active, to even the game's big updates that cost money. $5.99 to be exact. The final statement of this video is that this game is good, just has some things that need to be polished out, which is expected. It's an indie game. It's from an indie title. They don't have millions of dollars to pump into this game to polish everything out. But from what they've done, this game is amazing. Considering the cheap price and everything, I'll give this game a 9 out of 10. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, and why not, while you're at it, go watch this video reviewing the prequel to this game. Yes, this game has a prequel, or this video YouTube recommends.